we doing on this earth, man? Every day, most of us wake up and go to a job that we really don't fucking like, but we can't really quit because we got to get the money to pay the bills that they say is important to pay. What the fuck is the point of this life, man? We go to grocery stores and buy food that God gave us for free. Why the fuck do we pay for lights? Well, that's just the way it is. Fuck you. I'm tired of all this "that's just the way it is" bullshit. This whole fucking system is garbage. America ain't nothing but a big ass fucking plantation, man. A big ass fucking plantation. What the fuck are we doing here? There are days I don't want to be on this earth. And I'm not saying I want to unalive myself and nothing like that. But I'm tired, man. It's like, what the fuck is the point of any of this? To work till we 60, 70 years old? Most of us ain't gonna fucking live to see 50. But we gotta work to maybe retire. Man, fuck you and all that bullshit, man. I don't give a fuck about who president, left, right, and all this dumb ass shit. I'm tired of this whole fucking game, man. It's a big ass game. It's a big ass charade. America is a fucking plantation. I don't give a fuck what nobody got to say about it, man. This shit is exhausting. Like, I don't even want to look for another job. I'm gonna walk in there, they gonna ask me, why do you even want this job? Bitch, cause I need some fucking money to pay the bills that they tell me it's important to pay. Get the fuck out of here, man. Fuck are we
Shalom, first and foremost, before I get started, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that we well taught me this truth. Peace and salutation to the occupants pushing his word, and truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth, waking up the hopeful elect and risking their lives and freedoms to do so. Definitely more so now than ever before. This is the brother Zion Amai from the GMS Detroit by Camp. And this is going to be our lesson, all right, regarding the clip you just saw. All right, Jake is fed up. He's pissed off. All right. He's had it up to here, right, in the spirit. And, hey, that's a good spirit to have. That's what the Lord is looking for. You know, now all he needs now is to allow the Lord to, allow him, to see the truth or get the truth. You know what I'm saying? Believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and let the Lord take care of the rest. But being here in this captivity, that's the what's the word? That is the that's what you figure out. That's what you figure out. That's what you determine. That's the assessment. Right, when you being here, you live, long enough, you see that this whole existence is vain, it's pointless. What is it all for? Why are we working these jobs? Why are you getting the education? Why are we paying these bills? Why are we paying taxes? Why are we being overcharged, all right, for any and everything, right? Why do we gotta, right? Why do we have to buy groceries? yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to believe him. As the scriptures say, you got to believe on him as the scriptures say. All right, what's that? I believe John the 7th chapter. You know, because see, our people, as the scriptures also say, the people have a zeal when that according to knowledge. You know, Romans the 10th chapter. You see, all right, they jump up and down in these churches. All right, praying to Caesar Borgia. You know, they call him Jesus, and they really believe in their heart of hearts that a blue-eyed, blonde-haired devil is the man that's going to come back and save them from all of this. And that's where our people go off. You believing in false idols. All right? When you call on Jesus, when you believe in Jesus, in that image, all right, that brings a whole another philosophy. All right? But that's the downfall of our people, you know? Going to church, believing, all right? In terms of Christianity, all right? Which is basically the so-called white man's brand, all right, of the Bible, brand of the scriptures, all right? That's not the right thing. That's not the right way, all right? They're not breaking down the scriptures correctly. See, because first of all, there's only one truth, all right? You can believe whatever you want to believe, but at the end of the day, there's only one truth. So again, you gotta believe on Yahweh Shai as the scriptures say. All right, you can't be given to your own vain opinion. Your opinions don't matter. It's not gonna sway the Lord. All right, all right. You gotta get in order. You know, but hey, the reason all these things are happening, hey, the curses, man. And yeah, unfortunately, this is the way it is. Because this is how the Lord set it up for the whole flood to do what? To sigh and cry. Because that's the spirit you ought to be. You should want to be. You should want to live it up in Babylon, living your best life and all that. Looking to retire in Babylon. Alright? Get your little 401k, your pension. And that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this place is whack, man. You should know that. Alright? And you should be looking for a better way. And that better way is believing upon Yahweh Shai. The scriptures say he is the way, the truth, and the light. Alright? He's that mediator, that connector, alright, unto our power, Yahweh. You see? Real quick. This is Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel 9, verse 4. It says, and Yahweh said unto him, go to the midst of the city, to the midst of Jerusalem, place amongst all the Israelites, wherever they may be scattered, alright? And set a mark upon them. Right now, this mark, this is not the same mark that you would read in Revelation 13th chapter, right? This mark in the Hebrew is the Ra, which means got to be in the spirit that the apostles were in when Yahushua was resurrected. Right? Acts the first chapter. Let's get there. You know, you got to be in the mindset. I'm ready to run shit. You understand? I'm ready to take over, take the world. This is Acts 1. And 6, and it reads, when they were come together, when they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel? That's what it's all about, man. Restoration, the restitution of all things. Alright? Setting things up how they were supposed to be at the first. You know? That's what we're waiting upon. You know? Because we wait. The Lord, He's giving us, alright, the secrets, the mysteries, alright, to the scriptures. So now we know what's going on, we know why it's happening, and we understand that, hey, it's better days ahead. We just got to go through these birth pains right now. Alright? Which, to boot, yes, we are in Jacob's trouble right now. It ain't just fully ramped up, but we in it. You know what I'm saying? You seeing military troops on these streets, so it's going down. Right? The MOTB, right? The infrastructure for the MOTB is fully set up. Alright? They've been talking about World War III shit for I don't know how long. Right? You got all these wars, rumors of wars. Right? So, hey, we're in those times. We're in the closing moments of the last days. Alright, for shit show. So yeah, this is where you ought to be in, man. But unfortunately 2,000 years ago that wasn't the time. But right now is the time. We're in those days again. We're in those days. You know. And he was coming from the spirit like because Jake often asked that, you know, like if there's a God, right, and you know, and to move, if He loves us so much, why are we catching so much hell? Why is life so hard? Like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Jake won't answers. You know, but hey, again, it's curses, bro. It's really that cut and dry. And I'm gonna get that shortly, real quick. This is Malachi 1, and I start at verse 1. It says, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Saith Yahweh, yet I love Jacob. Reading that in the NLT as well. Verse 2. Malachi 1 and 2. It says, I have always loved you, says Yahweh. But you retort, really? Have you loved us? Question mark. It says, and Yahweh replied, this is how I showed my love for you. I loved your ancestor Jacob, but I rejected his brother Esau and devastated his hill country. I turned Esau's inheritance into a desert for jackals. Right, this devil, these so-called white people, they don't have any heritage. They don't have nothing to really call their home. Right, everything they do, they'll use the term borrow, but it's really stole. Alright, and they rebrand themselves. They rebrand themselves. You see. Love us. Alright, you have a term called, let's get that real quick. Tough love. Tough especially that of an addict, child, or criminal, by enforcing certain constraints on them or requiring them to take responsibility for their actions. This is better. Tough love. Right? Tough love is the act of treating a person sternly or harshly with the intent to help them in the long run. See that? Hey, how's the Lord gonna help us? Hey, He's gonna give us the kingdom. Right? If Yahweh shines first, and then us being Israelites will be made joint heirs with Yahweh Shai. Right? Yahweh Shai is gonna share his kingdom, right, with his brethren, starting with the elect. Right? But before that can happen, hey, we gotta go through the furnace to earn this. We gotta go through this affliction. All right, we gotta go through this ridicule, right? Through the scrutiny, through the name calling, right? Through the through all the murders and the killings. That we gotta go through that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta go through the narrow before we can enter the wide. Right? The straight gate. Let's see what else. Well, that's basically the point on that. So yeah, the Lord, He loves us. You know what I'm saying? But hey, matter of fact, that as well. What's that? This is Baruch. This is Baruch 4. Let's see. Now, this is Baruch 4, which was a study of Jeremiah. Alright, showing that the Apocrypha is part of the Holy Scriptures. Side note there. But it says, if I start at 4, this is Baruch 4. 4 it says, "O Israel, happy are we, for things that are pleasing to Yahweh are made known to us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye moved Yahweh to wrath, ye were delivered into the enemies." You see, so us being in Babylon, aka America, that's us being delivered to our enemies. And who's running America? So-called white man. So he's the enemy. He's the chief enemy. Right? You can support that with Psalms the 83rd chapter. There's no coincidence that Esau, the tabernacles of Edom, right, are mentioned first. You see? It says, verse 7, "For ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils, and not to Yahweh." That's right, you sacrifice unto false idols. Alright, you put away, alright, Yahweh and his ways. That's what we did as a people. Right? And the Lord, hey, He gave us the heads up, He gave us the warning, but we did not take heed. But now that we're going through, alright, these tough times, hey, Jake is starting to ask the questions like Jake in the video. Like, what's the point of all this? You know? So, hey, first you gotta do what? You gotta flee out of the midst of Babylon. What I did here was this, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you. spirit is destroyed because you don't know who you are. Right? You don't know why that matters. And then you're physically destroyed because, hey, we working. It's slavery. It's modern day slavery. That's what you're dealing with. And we make all this money to give it right back to the so-called white man. You can't. They got it set up, all right, by design to where, all right, you can't make no money to actually get ahead or to enterprise something for yourself. They give you just enough to always keep coming back, all right. And again, that's the curses, all right, which that helps identify, all right, who the Israelites are. You see, we're not aware for a case like those people in the land, in the physical land of Israel, all right. Those are not the people, So, hey, it's time to wake up. You know what I'm saying? It's time to do away with everything Babylon has to offer, right? It's time to take your head out of the white man's, butthole, right? So, I'm gonna just leave it at that, Lord willing. This was edifying. With that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone that rule well. Peace and salutations to the Hakim that's pushing his word in truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. Shalom.